Hey guys, Robot here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are doing something differently. We are doing the first episode of the Crew podcast and I am joined here by Mr. Happy.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mr. Happy and I'll be the co-host of this Zek Crew and the Zek Crew podcast. And today we're going to be going over the future of Call of Duty with the new Black Ops coming out very soon, and we'll be going into the future of zombies in the new Black Ops.
So far with the Black Ops 5 or Black Ops Cold War, we haven't had literally nothing official. Everything so far has actually just been leaks. Because everything like the new gameplay and logos has all been taken down by Activision, so far we're assuming that will have been legit if they've required it to be taken down, just like the pre-alpha like Blood of the Dead footage that got leaked, that turned out to be real because it got taken down very quickly. So we have nothing for zombies even through leaks yet, so that's not very good. Well, we're just gonna list some things off that we want to see personally in the new Zombies mode when it comes out and whenever it comes out. So the top 3 things that I'm wanting to see from Black Ops 5 or Black Ops Cold War, I'll just be referring to it as Black Ops 5 Zombies, would be the old perk system returning, the old point system returning, and the old pack punch, because I don't like pack punching my gun 6 times to get full power. Perk system, you spawn with Jug, very overpowered, and then the point system is broken because you cannot get any points early game. So what are the top 3 things that you would like to see come back?
Alright, so I want, what I really like, the only thing I really like about Black Ops 4 is the custom mutations that they added, where you can have like your own custom games. You can turn on anything you want, turn off anything you want. I also want, just to get rid of the Jug at spawn, because that's what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to get rid of crutch perks, but they put in things like Dying Wish and Stamina Ups, all those, Winner's Wail, all of those were just crutch perks that they put in, and it just made the situation even worse. The last thing, just no chaos. Chaos, since since now that Jason Blundell is out of Treyarch and isn't working on zombies anymore, and Chaos was basically his creation, he's not going to be working on Chaos anymore. So if they're really going to put in Chaos, then it's not going to be good, since it's not Jason Blundell anymore.
Well, one of the things that quite interests me is the return of the Chaos storyline, because I believe it was like the co-developer, like the sort of second in command, Craig Houston, he was also working on Chaos and stuff, and I believe he's now been promoted to Jason's old position. So we might see a return of the Chaos storyline, because if you think about it, it's just, Chaos was good, it just came in at the wrong time. Like, we would have preferred an entire DLC season devoted towards one storyline. So that's another thing that I do not want to see, where it's like 2 storylines split up. So we either stick with the Chaos storyline, which could be good or could be bad, it's kind of like a risk there, or we restart the Aether storyline with like a reboot, and we've got some theories about what that may be, which we're going to get into later in the show. But for now, we're going to be discussing what would happen with the future of Chaos being implemented into Zombies and our opinions on that. So, for my opinion, I think that they should actually bring back Chaos. Like, a lot of people don't like Chaos, but I'm one of the few people that actually enjoys it. I just think they brought it in at the wrong time. Like, so if they take off where Ancient Evil left and then brought it back, because Aether's been going on for what, like 10, 11 years now, and it's like we need, 10 years, we need something fresh in the community. So I think the continuation of the Chaos storyline would be good, because I'm actually quite interested to see what happens after Ancient Evil. which is something that not a lot of people are excited for, but would you like to see Chaos return?
Yeah, like it was a big surprise with the fact that Chaos was new, since we had since this has happened a lot of times before with our expectations with let's say Mob of the Dead, that we had low expectations for since we had like Transit and Die Rise, and then Mob of the Dead came out of nowhere and everyone was so surprised, and everyone thought it was really good because of the fact that we had low expectations. And then we had Zetsubo no Shima, we had high expectations because we had Shadows Weevil and the Rising Dragon, and then Zets came out of nowhere and everyone had high expectations for the map, but then it just came out as a flop because we had high expectations. But some people like you
excuse me,
Zets is pretty good.
Excuse me, Zetsubo is the best Black Ops 3 map. Please don't talk shit about my favourite map.
This is an okay map. I'm not bullying it. I'm just saying that it's an okay map. I'm not saying that it's a bad map either. But yeah, since we had expectations for Ether, that Ether was gonna be our for the rest of the zombies, and then Chaos came out of nowhere. Everyone was so surprised, and yeah, so I think it's a good idea now that we actually know that Chaos is a thing. It's better if they just continue it with the zombie storyline, but I still want it would be better if we had like if we still had Ether, but like I don't know how that's gonna go, since if either gonna get rebooted. What I think would be better if they just put it like continuation out the tag, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, because I think what many people were unhappy about Black Ops 4 was that they decided to split up the game into the two storylines, because there's been no other sort of game where that's happened, because even with stuff like Black Ops 2 where we had the Victus crew and then like the other two crews that Blundell worked on, but still those two storylines were intertwined. However, Chaos and Ether are complete different universes. However, if they did bring Ether back, if they were to bring Chaos back, I would want them to not bring Ether back, but if they were to bring Ether back, I wouldn't want Chaos back, because I do not want a split DLC season again, unless they were to release like a fresh map with each. So unlike this, the Black Ops 4 one, where they released like one Chaos, one Ether, if they actually with each DLC came a Chaos and a thing, but they probably wouldn't do that because with all the budget cuts that happened at the in Black Ops 4, they probably do not have any of the budget or like just the manpower, and also with the current quarantine everywhere, the game might be getting delayed, so I doubt that they'd do all of that. But I would like to see Chaos return in its own, so not as like a sort of side project, because everyone kind of looked past it, so that's like the main forefront of the zombies like experience in Black Ops 4.
I mean, like, yeah, because it was Dead of the Night. That's a good example. It was a big surprise because there was no like trailer going for it. That it just came out of nowhere. Yeah. Like, ooh, this map came out.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing like.
There's like no foreshadowing.
Like 90% of people didn't even know that it had come out, and then it just kind of released on Reddit, and then people were like, shit, this is out already. So they definitely need to put more like of their funds into the marketing team, because we can't have another DLC that we don't even know is releasing.
Yeah, like
that'll just be another nightmare.
This is really like another this is really a problem for Activision too. Activision, they have a tendency of rushing their companies, rushing Infinity Ward or Treyarch to be done with their game so they can actually sell it, but that's not gonna work. Like for example with like most of the maps, they for Black Ops 4, it was rushed. In my opinion, I think it was rushed because of the fact that they were trying to get it out for the time of when it came out. So yeah,
because like, they were trying to beat like the release of Red Dead 2, I think it was.
Yeah, so,
they were trying to beat, so they released it like a month early.
Good. Yeah, it wasn't good, the fact that it was being rushed.
Yeah. So now that we've discussed all of the Chaos stuff, I'm wanting to move on to some theories that people may have that I've sort of seen around Reddit. So one theory that I have seen on Reddit, I did not come up with this, and I can't find the original post anymore, so I won't be able to credit to whoever came up with this. But the theory was that as Victus were sort of sucked into the dark ether, along with all of the zombies and stuff, that the Black Ops 5 season, if it were to be an Ether reboot or a continuation of the story, would be us following the Victus crew and trying to get them out of the dark ether and actually back to their normal lives pre 115, all of that, as they didn't really do anything wrong, they just kind of got sucked into the dark ether. But there's not really much stuff to support this, as well the Apothicons did manage to escape the dark ether, but do you really think that for ordinary people, so you've got like Marlin who's simping for Misty, then Misty who's being simped on by Marlin, then you've just got Stullinger who's he's not going to have Richtofen in his mind telling him what to do because he is now dead, and then you've got Russman who forgets everything. So do you really think that they're going to be able to get out of the dark ether? What are your thoughts?
I feel like if we are going with that dark ether like storyline, that would be a good idea actually. But I feel like the only way if they were to be taken out, I feel like they would be like manipulated again, like Max is how Max manipulated them, and I think that they would be manipulated by like some Apothicons and telling them to that they could escape, but like trick them into actually like letting the Apothicons escape, which will just be like another Revelations though.
Yeah. Because I think that the way that they originally escaped Dark Ether was beforehand scattering the 115 into like all the dimensions, and then when Earth found it, then they were able to escape, doing the zombies and all of that. Shit. But one thing that I think is that because the only reason the Apothicons were actually able to escape was because they had planned it in advance. They had put all the stuff out there just before they got trapped into the Dark Ether, because they knew that they were going to like lose the Great War, I believe. So I really don't think the 4 humans from Earth, who now have no sort of ethereal assistance like Richtofen or Maxis. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
as well, Maxis. Well, Monty could potentially have set up like a failsafe,
like just in case if this happens.
Yeah, because he did kill Maxis, so Maxis might also be there for some assistance, and then it might even be like a sort of. So some people are theorizing that we're going to be getting the Transit, Die, Rise and Buried remakes. So one thing that I just hear is, you know how it was either between Richtofen or Maxis? Maybe we have to choose between following the Shadow Man or Monty. Both are bad characters, but so if this was like a DLC 5 or whatever, it would maybe continue that, so then we get like a separate Ether reboot, or like some like prequels or just something, and then like maybe for like a DLC 5 we get those 3 maps, but it's like fresh story and it's all Dark Ether, so they're kind of like remakes or reimaginings like Blood, Classified Tag and Alpha Omega, which I think would be pretty cool. But I definitely do not want to see an entire remaster for a DLC season. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I mean, like that would be a good idea, like remastering, like Buried, Transit, Die, Rise and Buried, but like that would be like a cover up for what they're actually doing, like trying to escape the Dark Ether. Yeah, that would be a pretty good idea. Just like to cover up the fact that isn't like an actual remake. It's a remaster that they're trying to escape the Dark Ether.
Yeah, so like, cause everyone would be like they're trying to escape using either the Monty or Shadow Man, just like they're trying to escape the zombies by helping Richtofen or Maxis, because they don't really know who's better. Because if you because we know that like Richtofen and Maxis are both kind of bad, so we don't really need to follow them. But the characters, they don't know really anything about them, and that'll be the same for the Shadow Man and Dr. Monty. because the only time that they've actually heard of Monty is in the intro cutscene to Tag, where Stuhlinger's surprised, like when Richtofen tells him of this guy who he believes is called Dr. Mente, which is strange. So it'd be good if that was like a DLC 5, them escaping the Dark Aether, to give a happy ending to them, but not to devote the entire DLC cycle to that. So just do that as like the DLC 5, just to close off. Like if it was like a reboot or whatever, just to close off that sort of side of it. So if they went back and changed like one detail just to start the Aether storyline and stuff. But if I want to see like a happy ending for Victus, just in the ending where like the buried end game Maxis' side, because that's the one that canon, and then maybe if they swapped it like the Richtofen end game. But I still want to see like a happy ending for Victus in that one. I don't want it to be left on the sort of cliffhanger that it's currently on, like where they're just there.
Yeah. What would be cool though, if they're doing that, where like they're trying to escape the Dark Aether through either Monty or the Shadow Man. What if the Shadow Man was actually the good guy all along and just trying to stop Monty he went up against Monty and just stopped the cycle from going on. And if we choose the Shadow Man, that's actually the good ending that will happen, and that would be a pretty good bamboozle.
Yeah, because you actually kind of get out if you choose the Shadow Man one, because in Revelations, as I've recently done around 100, I've heard pretty much every single Shadow Man in Monty's quotes, during which, and also the Easter egg, the Shadow Man tells you multiple times what Monty's going to do to you, that you're just going to be simply wiped from existence, and he's the only one that'll actually tell you what's going to happen, and you're just following Monty's orders blindly. And then it turns out that that's true. He did try to erase you from existence, but since we had the blood vials, so I think Richtofen might have known that. But I think that would be pretty cool if we had like a bamboozle that the Shadow Man was actually the good guy all along, or well, not really the good guy, because in the buried thing, Maxis and Richtofen are not really good people because they're both Nazis, because it's like the Ultimus versions of them. So they're not good or bad, but one of them's slightly less evil, so the Shadow Man's less evil than Monty, so then you can kind of choose that, and then they can like get out of the thing, and then Treyarch will probably confirm like which one's canon maybe. But now that we've went over that, I have a personal theory, which is one that I think they might do. As the fans didn't really take well most of the fans didn't really take well to Chaos, what some people were speculating is of an Aether reboot. So it would be the same characters on all of that, but it would take place in like a different canon, so the storylines would not be interlinked. But what I was thinking is, there's only one time where where an ending or some massive choice has been declared by Treyarch as either canon or non-canon, and that was the end game of Buried. So in the end game for Buried, the ending which is canon, the one that actually happens, is Richtofen's ending, and then the one that's just filler is Maxis's, the one that's filler is Richtofen's, and Maxis's actually happened. What I think what would be pretty cool is if, like, so we follow, like, the storyline, but rather than it being we follow what happens post Max's endgame, we follow it post Richtofen endgame, where he's, like, kind of in Samu's body, and all of that. I think that would be pretty cool. What are some of your hopes for what they do?
That would be pretty cool. I mean, like, I think that's what my theory for like the entire game is, that it's just gonna be like a filler for what actually happens like in between stories, and like that would be cool. Like if like it was like an alternate reality where Richtofen ending is actually canon. That would be pretty cool. How they like it was like if they showed what if that was actually like canon or not, and yeah, that would be a pretty good idea. But yeah, I don't know. This is a pretty good idea.
Because it would be interesting to see how they would sort of relate the end game to that, to the Origins and the Premise crew, as the only times that they really meet up, like as in Premise and Ultimus, is when they're about to break the cycle. Everything about that, they never meet up, and they, like, nothing happens during the cycle to do that, so it'd be sort of interesting to see how they would kind of play the sort of Premise crew and all of that into the Richtofen Endgame, whether they would even exist, because something might change that.
And won. Like Samantha wouldn't have to go to Premise to actually go tell them to help her because of the fact that her father is corrupted, and but her father it doesn't even exist in Matt Richtofen's side.
Because in what do you call it? I believe in Origins, what color are the eyes in Origins?
Origins colors are orange, just like Samantha.
Orange, so that means that Samantha is in control. So that means that the Maxis Endgame would be canon, yeah, because then Samantha's still in control and all of that, so that would mean Maxis Endgame. So maybe that would mean like the Richtofen's in control and the Origins would then have blue eyes and then different stuff would happen. Maybe even Premise would try and stop Richtofen, but he's like an Imperial King now, which would be an interesting boss fight.
But what's it called? I'm pretty sure they had a theory where oh, this is my theory, that Samantha isn't actually controlling the Origin zombies, and it's actually Dr. Monty that's controlling them, because so the events of Origins actually happen, and they can actually go to the Agartha, and that's why zombies exist in these realities, like these broken off realities, of the fact that Monty is actually controlling the zombies, so the events of the maps actually happen, and at the end, so the events can actually happen, and the cycle keeps on going.
Yeah, that makes, like, now that you said that, that makes, like, actually a lot of sense of why he would do that, because the reason that Monty kept the cycle going is because he didn't want to die, because he knew that if the cycle broke, that he would be wiped out and sent to the Dark Ether, so that's why he kept the cycle going. So, if potentially, if Samantha's, like, under the control of Monty, perhaps, maybe, like, since Richtofen is controlling the zombies, like, from Sammy's body and stuff, because he's like he can go between the MPD and Sammy's body, maybe that would make for it that Monty now can't control it, and now and then like Richtofen just like kills Monty, and then sort of we've got to try and go against Monty. But it'd be interesting how they would put Premise into that, because unless the cycle's being broken, really, there's no mention of Origins from the there's no mention of Ultimus through the Premise storyline, really. Can you think of any other times when Ultimus is mentioned during the Premise? During the cycle?
During the maps. That's the only way the Ultimus versions of themselves are killed, and that's the only reason why they're in actually in Premise, the Premise storyline.
But there's no mention of like the crew which we play as in BO1, which get held in like the Area 51 Hangar 42 or something, I think. I can't remember the exact hangar number, maybe like 57. One of those hangars, like, yeah. But yeah, it would be hopefully the introduct or something like that. But yeah, so what are you hoping for? Are you hoping for them to bring Chaos back, or
I honestly have never played Chaos.
Ether
that's
remaster?
Yeah, I would like Ether remaster. It's just that a remaster wouldn't really like go well with me, but like it would still be good, since Ether is actually being like still in like Ether is still being like it's still relevant in the time. It would be cool like if they started off like the Black Ops 5 with Chaos, or they started off with Ether, and then once they're finished with Chaos, they could put out the Ether at the end. Or
Yeah,
Chaos at the
that's
end.
like kind of one thing that I'm not really wanting to happen. What I want them to do is, I don't really mind whether they reboot Ether or continue Chaos, but there's like kind of two things that I really don't want to happen, which is to have a DLC cycle that consists of more than 50% remasters, or a split storyline again. I would prefer that they just stuck to one storyline and that we actually got original maps, because that didn't stick right with people for like Black Ops 4, because there was remasters, split cycles, and that game didn't do too well critically.
Yeah, so if they're gonna do like different stories, and I don't think we're probably only gonna get one storyline, which is probably gonna be most likely Chaos then, since they have to finish Chaos off.
Well, one of the things that I'm thinking is, because Activision kind of like runs everything, I'm kind of thinking that they're probably going to do an Ether remaster, because Ether makes the most money because it's been like the longest running one, so we'll probably end up getting Ether, not because Treyarch's passion is in that, but because Activision wants to make money probably. But that's all we've got time for in today's episode. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to both our channels. The links to each of our channels will be down in the description. And we're gonna probably be doing some more of these episodes if you guys enjoy them, and comment down below what topics you guys would like to see in the next episode of Z Crew Podcast.
Z Crew Podcast. Alright, and we'll be signing off.
Peace.